Hello and welcome back to Quick Looks with the Casual Hour. I am Bobby, and joining me, thankfully, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky. Chase, let's head east.
Yes, at least eastward.
Yes, that seems like the direction we should go tonight. And while we're heading eastward, let's play Eastward. I am excited to show this game off to you. I think that we've been talking about it for some time. But before we hop into all that, give us a like and subscribe. Here at the Casual Hour, we post all kinds of fun stuff to YouTube, including quick looks like the one that you're watching now. We also bring over some video on demands from our live streams, which include deep dives, let's plays, and just a really mediocre podcast. Chase, what can you tell me about...
That's the Casual Hour promise.
That's the Casual Hour promise. What can you tell me about Eastward?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about it. It came out, well, whenever this quick look comes out, I'm not sure when that, but it came out September 16th, which is pretty soon from when we're showing it off here. How many hours would you say you're into it at this point?
I want to say I'm probably like 3 to 4 hours-ish, maybe up or down a little bit on that number.
Okay. And I'm a little bit behind you, it sounds like, and I haven't been to this town that you're at. But it came out September 16th. It is developed by a developer called Pixpil, which I believe this is their first game. I couldn't find anything else that they've worked on. But it's published by Chucklefish, which we know as the pixel art people. Like they seem to find and help get developed all of these great looking pixel art games. I think of Wargroove. There's another like tactical strategy game that's kind of like an Indiana Jones looking thing that looks really good.
Okay.
And then this one, Eastward, which, goddamn, Bobby, how is this pixel art? How can pixel art look this good?
Man, I've said on our podcast a few times, like, I'm over it, man. Like, I'm over the pixel art craze. And then a game like Eastward comes out, and I'm just immediately taken by... It's one of the best looking pixel art games I've ever played, period. And I think that's what we're going to try and showcase tonight. You know, you and I were talking before recording, and I'm like, hey, you know, I really like what I'm seeing with Eastward, but I think it might be kind of hard to do a quick look for a game like this, because it is a very intimate story, in my opinion. And I think that there's a lot of mystery and some really exciting things and cool people you're meeting that, in my opinion, is really best suited for you to explore. But
it's also just a game that wears its influences completely on its sleeve. Like, absolutely. It's called Eastward, but there's a game within this game called what's it called? Earthborn.
Earthborn. Not
Earthbound, but there are so many Earthbound references in here. Go back to that fridge that you just talked to.
Yeah.
That's your save point, but that is just one of those things that feels very much like Earthbound to me, is that you have these kind of weird, funky things. All these different fridges have different dialogue for them. It actually reminds me a lot of what's the rhythm game that we played earlier this year?
Oh my god, Everhood?
Yes, Everhood. That had the different lights that you would say that, and each of them would have different dialogue too. This just feels very much in that kind of same vein, where everything's a little quirky and fun. This is also extremely a Zelda game at points. Like, there are pieces of heart. Yes. There are, I mean, you have heart containers there on the bottom left, once you get out of talking to this person. There's some pretty simple dungeon design that feels very Zelda-like. When your characters get a key, they turn towards the camera and hold it up, very much like Link does. When you bomb, you get bombs really early in here, and when you bomb a wall or bomb something that opens up a new area, you'll hear the little ditty. That it's so incredible. It makes you feel this nostalgia, but it doesn't feel weighed down by those things either, because I feel like the world that it is playing in is really interesting and unique all its own.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive.
Yeah, man, I've been... Let me just say this, like, at the time of recording this quick look on the 19th of September, there's been a ton of new shit that's dropped recently. Some things that, like, have definitely been asking me to be my game of the year, and I've had my Switch in my hands non-stop playing this, because I'm a huge Zelda fan. Earthbound is something that like I've not been able to penetrate, and I've always loved the idea of it a lot more than I've enjoyed playing it, and this is seemingly taking care of that for me. I think the world is so mysterious, but not in a way where it's like, there's been a few times like, well, I think I might play this way, and then it does some other stuff. I'm like, wait, what's going on with this? And it's great. So I can sit here and keep saying it's great, it's great, it's great, but let me just set the stage a little bit for what we're going to do. We're going to explore the world. I don't know how much we're going to get into it. I wanted to show off, if I could, some combat. Maybe if I can find the Earthborn game somewhere around here, show that off. But I want to go over the menu really quick and show some of this, because I think it's really well done. The game does a pretty good job of keeping you on track while still giving you a lot of the opportunity to explore this really cool world that they designed. So you start the game beneath the surface. There's a lot of folklore about what's happening above the surface. You get banished to the surface as a punishment, but you end up discovering some really cool things. So we're on chapter 3, which is about the second city outside of that. You play as 2 characters right now. You play as John and Sam. And, sorry, let me get away from it. I have this thing that lets me know when there's treasure around. John...
Yeah, oh, that's a fun thing. Yeah, I like that thing.
It's really cool. The shoulder buttons do 2 things. So if you press the right shoulder button while you're on your character, so with John, I have a melee frying pan that I can use. And then I also have a bang bang gun that is pretty powerful. It's more like a shotgun. And then, as Chase mentioned, you have the bombs. But each one of these has upgrades. Like, I've upgraded my bombs once to be more powerful, and then you're acquiring things in the game. So you are picking up different fruits and vegetables because John likes to cook, and there's things that you can cook that you use in the game. But then also, you're getting parts to upgrade your weapons. So like, I haven't been able to upgrade my gun yet. But then you also have a backpack that you can buy upgrades and expand your backpack. You can find blueprints. There's things like this bomb pack that'll refill my bomb. There's one for ammo as well. You can get a fish sandwich that gives you more health. There's really cool, nuanced things like that. I really like the map design. I love the lines through areas that you haven't been to. I think it's really clever. And they do a good job of giving you a target on where you need to head. This is going to be just your overall inventory, so you can switch between your backpack and also the ingredients that you have for what you can cook with. So I think that that's really neat also. And then up here at the top, these are the recipes that you've learned. So that's that fish sandwich I was mentioning earlier. If you have the stuff on hand, you can go in here and make it, which is just vegetable and seafood. Oops. And then this is just so cool. So these are things that go into the game. So this is a Pixpil.
There's like a gotcha game within a game within a game.
Yeah, it's so meta with what that is. And you got these different tokens for... So that icon there, that is the Earthborn game card that you use. And you get a memory card early in the game to play it. And then achievements in game are a lot of fun. So the combat, I think, and the movement for a game that's pixel-based, it feels very, very good. And we are playing this on the Switch and having a really good time with it on there.
It's also out on PC and Mac.
Okay.
You can get it there too. I don't think it's been announced for any other consoles though.
So I just got to the city here, and I haven't done a whole lot here yet. Uh-oh, is this like a sleeping Snorlax that we're gonna have to wake up?
Maybe. This game does seem pretty linear, and maybe that's something that makes sense for a game called Eastward. Like you're literally going in one direction. But so far, at least for me, yeah, you'll wrap back around to different locations, but it always feels like it's pushing you forward. It's not so much that you are in a hub, at least not that I've gotten to. Like you're in a hub, and now you're going out and doing all these side missions. It always feels like you're pushing the story forward as you play. And for me, honestly, that's kind of nice out of a game like this. I really just want something that I don't have to sink my teeth into. I've got Destiny, damn it. I don't need another game to take up millions of hours, and having something more focused like this has been really nice.
Yeah, so you're gonna meet vendors in these cities and towns, and you're gonna find vending machines that allow you to do upgrades and replenishment. I'm just gonna keep moving around, Chase, and see if we find anything. Like I'm brand new to this city, and I know for a quick look, we've always been a little bit more focused. Like, hey, we want to show you these things, but there's something just about exploring in this game that I think is really cool.
Yeah, even though I think because it is pretty linear in the way it goes, that when you do have opportunities to explore here in a city like this, it feels very rewarding to go around and just talk to people. I think the writing is really, really solid in this. Lots of great names for different things. Like you had Bang Bang Gun, and but also just like the names of people, the names of different characters and enemies and things that you fight. Those are all just really fun. It is. I think this is the definition of lovingly crafted.
Yeah, 100%. There is, I guess the best way I can put it, like there isn't a threat that you are running from in this game as well, and there's definitely some hidden things happening with your characters, potential love interest stuff, not between them, of course, because this is more of like a Joel and Ellie situation. If you're familiar with Last of Us, I actually described it to my wife. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like a wholesome Last of Us. Which
it's I would also say it's like a Japanese Last of Us.
yes, absolutely. So this is the only time that you see this sort of zoomed out thing also when you go into the...
Oh, I like this, yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen this yet, because I think, Chase, you're just getting to the first city, but this is the first time you get like this pulled back...
you see it as soon as you get off the train.
Yep, so this is where we got off the train here. This was the station for that. Okay. Which, I mean, that is just so...
All the train stations are really good, too. Like, the first train station has this giant, a live whale on it.
Yep.
That's just hanging out. He's having a good old time.
Yep. I'm trying to find a shop that would have Earthborn, because I'd love to get that in here if we could, but I don't know if we're going to get to it tonight. I'll keep going back down into that city and see what I can find. I guess I can pull up my map really quick. Now, Chase, you mentioned Zelda, and I'm not here to unbury this, but I know that you're not the biggest Zelda fan. Like, you appreciate Zelda, you have a hard time finishing Zelda games. Like, is this too much of that for you, or is there enough other things going on that you find pretty interesting?
I think it is that linearity that is pushing me forward. The Zelda, I usually stall out somewhere on the overworld. I like the overworld more than the dungeons, but there's a point of I just don't want to keep exploring this space and having to do the... I also don't like Metroid games for a very similar reason of, like, I feel like I have to comb over every single thing with this newly acquired item, and then I go to a new dungeon and I get another item, and I feel like I have to comb over the whole place all over again just to find the next place I want to go to. Yeah. And that's what really bums me out about any of those games. I just feel like there's too much exploring, too much just walking around hoping to find something. And this game has not been that for me. Like, it is a very focused experience. It feels like it's taking you from one place to the other place to the other place, and also you just when you go to your map screen, you have that woman holding the flag, and it's like, okay, there's waypoints everywhere. You will never get lost in this game, and it allows you to explore at your leisure because you always know that you can get back to where you need to go.
I also love one of the things here about Sam. Sam is a sweetheart, by the way. I love when she's yelling for John when she's excited about something. Like, John, we gotta go. I love that so much. Like, their relationship has been really, really fun to watch. And
I'm not spoiling anything here because it is kind of the whole premise of the game. But John's a digger because they live underground. John was in a mine digging around because that's his job, and he discovered Sam in underground, in like a vessel underground, and now has taken ownership of her, taken guardianship of her, and so she says that she's been to the surface before, and you're just kind of trying to figure out the mystery of what that is, but it leads to this, like, hey, I'm not your dad, but I am taking care of you, so it very much is a Last of Us kind of situation.
Yep.
And I think that's been really cool, except, as you see now, you're controlling Sam, you get to control both characters in this game, and I think that's really cool, too.
There is, I can't do it here, so one of the things that I appreciate also is, you see how the hearts are grayed out right now? Anytime that you're in an environment that's safe, where there's not any danger, your hearts will be gray, and then when you're in a situation where you're gonna have to fight, those hearts become red. which is
and
nice.
also the characters get different moves, or they get additional functionality when you're in like the dungeon part of the spaces, where Joel can swing around that frying pan or shoot that gun, and Sam has some supernatural powers herself that she's able to use in different situations. They even break you up at different points in the game, where you kind of have to do like a brother's Tale of Two Sons kind of thing, where one person has to pull the lever to let somebody else through, and then that one has to push a button, and then that one has to stand on a thing. So there is some light puzzle solving with that as well. It also feels a little bit like the Mario and Luigi games, where you are switching off between the brothers as you do things, and each of them has slightly different powers, and they can combine them in different ways. It's like I said, it kind of has its influences on its sleeve, but it uses them in such fun, unique, and interesting ways that I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. Hey, I know this guy.
Yeah, this is. I don't think that we've discovered the name of this guy until just now.
No, his robot buddy says his name when you first see him.
Okay. But no, like I've also like just getting to know the townsfolk has been really awesome, especially in that town that you just got to. There's some pretty standout characters that I could see us talking about at some point in time down the line. I've just really enjoyed being in this world. I think that's the best way I could say it, is that like I don't care if I'm fighting things or just going around excuse me, doing things like this. I really appreciate what this game's doing in a big way. I think it's a ton of fun.
Yep. Completely agree.
Chase, I could keep showing you dialogue here with this game, and I'm going to keep running through this one here, but I would just say this. I think this is a game that you should check out. It's $25. I can't remember if we said that or not. It's on a lot of different platforms. There's a lot of charm here, and just from like a video game appreciation standpoint, it's a really good looking game. It's worth playing for sure.
Yeah.
So let's call it there and wrap this quick look up here. I know this has been a bit more obscure, but I'll just say this. Check it out. We'll be talking about this game on our podcast. If you want to go a bit deeper with us, you can find one of those episodes. We do stream those live on Twitch Wednesday nights at 10:30 p.m. We also play games on Monday and Friday at 10:30 p.m. Central over on twitch.tv/thecasualhour. We have a really good time there. We post our podcast every Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central. You can find it literally everywhere podcasts are at. And we have just a lot of fun. We have Johnny and Patrick who join us for the podcast. Chase does a lot of cool stuff around there as well with me. We just have a great time. So, as I mentioned at the very beginning of this quick look, like and subscribe for more content like this and to stay up to date on all the cool shit that we're doing over at the Casual Hour. This has been fun, Chase. Thanks for sharing your 2 cents and exploring a little Eastward with me tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool, man. Hopefully that was okay.